Hey everyone, welcome to That's Good Denver. I'm your host Chris Romeo, and today I'm going to break down the Denver Nuggets taking down the Minnesota Timberwolves in round one by beating the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games. Nuggets took care of business. Um, so fast breakdown. Nuggets went up 3-0 in the series. They won their first 2 home games by a decent margin. Game 3 they won at Minnesota, and then Nuggets lost Game 4 in overtime, and then Nuggets took Game 5 at home. And Minnesota, you guys had a great series. Timberwolves fans are so delusional, though. After Game 4, when the Wolves were about to beat the Nuggets to extend it to a Game 5, the fans were chanting, "Wolves in 7." It's like, bro, okay, congrats. You guys won one game against the Nuggets, and it was in overtime where you guys almost blew that game too. Nuggets were down by 12 with like 2 minutes left. The Nuggets still came back and sent it into overtime. So, yeah, a little delusional, but good series. I think the Wolves fought hard. Game 5 was a close game. Game 2 was pretty close. Every game except for Game 1 was a great game to watch. So, yeah. Jamal Murray had a great series. He had 40 points in Game 2. He had a great Game 5 with like 35. He was a big piece the Nuggets needed. It's good to have him back for the playoffs because we're going to need him, as the Nuggets will take on the Suns in round 2, and I'll be going to Game 2 of round 2 in Denver. Yes, I am going to the Suns-Nuggets game in Denver in round 2 for Game 2 on Monday. Game 1 is on Saturday, tomorrow, so let's hope the Nuggets can get the dub and get past the Suns in round 2 so they can punch their ticket to the Western Conference Finals. Right now in the Western Conference semis. So, in Game 1 of the Minnesota Timberwolves series, in the first quarter, Nuggets got off to a good start, scored the first 8 points of the game. Then the Minnesota Timberwolves battled back. It was a close game after the first quarter, 26-23. Then the Nuggets were able to dominate a little better in the second quarter. Jokic started to get going. Their defense played very well all night as the Nuggets led 55-44 at halftime. Then the third quarter is when the Nuggets started to really dominate and put the game away. Michael Porter Jr. hit a big and 1-3 to put the Nuggets up 20. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope hit a couple threes. Defense played lights out all night long. And fourth quarter was a bunch of garbage time. And we'll get our reserve players in. The Nuggets won the game 109-80. Jamal Murray led the way with 24 points. As Jokic didn't even have that good of a night. He fouled out actually in the fourth quarter. Jokic only had 13 points, 14 rebounds, and only like 5 assists. So, Nuggets take game 1 109-80. In game 2, the Nuggets got off to a really good start again. Against Minnesota, Jamal Murray was heating up. He had 12 points at least in the first quarter. I think he had 12 points in like the first 8 minutes. Jamal Murray got cooking. Nuggets led by like 14. Minnesota was able to battle back a little bit with Anthony Edwards in the first quarter, but the Nuggets led by 9 at the end of 1. Second quarter, Nuggets started to dominate again. Michael Porter Jr., Jokic started to get going. My boy Jokic. And Nuggets led by like 15 at halftime. Then the third quarter for the Nuggets, it was a very bad quarter, very bad defensively quarter. Minnesota started to battle back. Anthony Edwards, who had a great series, starting to go off in the third quarter. Battled back. They tied the game. Minnesota took the lead in the third quarter because our defense gave up 40 points and our offense only scored in 23. The Timberwolves led the Nuggets 91-89 on a Anthony Edwards tough elbow jumper to give the Wolves the lead going to the fourth. Then the fourth quarter, Nuggets started to get back to playing Denver Nugget basketball. Michael Porter Jr. got going to give the Nuggets the lead back. Then Jokic started going. Then the last 6 minutes of the game was the Nuggets led by 5. Jamal Murray and Anthony Edwards both trading buckets back and forth. Jamal Murray couldn't miss. Anthony Edwards couldn't miss. Jamal Murray hit a step back 3 to put the Nuggets up 9, and the Nuggets were able to hold on and win by a final score of 122-113. and that gave the Nuggets a 2-0 series lead. Then on Friday, Nuggets go into Minnesota to try to take a 3-0 series lead. Got off to a little bit of a slow start. Offense couldn't really get much going the first 5 minutes of the game. Then we were able to battle back. Anthony Edwards had a good first quarter, but so did Michael Porter Jr. and Nikola Jokic. Nuggets were able to tie it at the end of one, 28-28. Then the start of the second quarter, the Nuggets really started to dominate. Aaron Gordon hit a tough fadeaway and one to put the Nuggets up by 31-28. The Nuggets started to dominate, take advantage of some Minnesota turnovers, and Nuggets were up by 15. Then the Wolves started to battle back a little bit at the end to cut it to like an 8-point game going into halftime. Nuggets led at the halftime. Then the third quarter, it was back and forth. Michael Porter Jr. having a great game. So was Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray had a good game. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had a good game. He had a couple big threes in this game. Minnesota was able to cut the Nuggets lead to 6 going into the fourth quarter as Anthony Edwards started to get going again. Then the Timberwolves cut it to a 3-point game after another 3-point hit shot. It was 84-81 with like 10 minutes left in the fourth. Nuggets tried to get some breathing room, get a couple buckets. Then it was back and forth until about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter of Game 3. Nuggets led, I think it was like 97-91. Then the Nuggets were able to get a big three from Michael Porter Jr. and a big three from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to ice the game. Nuggets won the game 120-111 to put the Nuggets up 3-0 and a chance to get out your brooms. They had a chance to sweep the Timberwolves in Game 4 on Sunday. So then it was back and forth in the first quarter. Then the Nuggets dominated the second quarter. Jokic got going. By the way, in Game 3, Game 2, Jamal Murray obviously led the way with 40 points, and Anthony Edwards had 41. Game 3, Michael Porter Jr. was able to lead the way with 25 points. It was an all-around good team effort. Jokic had 20-point triple-double. Jamal Murray had like 18 points. When Jokic gets a triple-double, that means he gets help from his guys with assists. So, in Game 4, Nuggets dominated the second quarter. Jokic had a great first half. Nuggets led, I think it was 52-48 at halftime. Then Nuggets led by like 9 with like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Then the Timberwolves went on a big run, like a 25-11 run to take the lead. Timberwolves led by 6 going into the third quarter. They were going in the fourth quarter, Timberwolves obviously had a better third quarter once again. Then where we weren't really able to get much going at all offensively. Time was running out on the Nuggets, so 4 minutes left. Nuggets trailed 96-84. Then I was getting ready to turn the game off because Nuggets trailed 96-84. 2 minutes left. Michael Porter Jr. hits 2 threes. Then Jokic hits big three to cut the game to 3 points, 96-93. A minute left. And then Jokic hits a tough... we were able to get stops finally. Jokic hits a tough fall-away jumper to put the Nuggets within 96-95 with 50 seconds left. Nuggets get another stop, get the ball to Jokic with 17 seconds left. Jokic gets fouled, misses the first free throw, makes the second. Game goes into overtime, 96-96. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope got a turnover to send the game into overtime. Then in overtime, Nuggets took the lead at one point, 98-96. Then our offense wasn't really doing much in overtime. It was more reliant about Jokic. Then Nuggets trailed by 7, able to battle back again, getting Jokic some more points. Jokic had 40 points on the night. And then Nuggets were down by 109-108. Anthony Edwards had the ball with 15 seconds left, hits a tough step-back 3 to put the Timberwolves up by 4. Jokic misses a 3. Then Timberwolves take Game 4 to extend the series. That's when the Wolves fans thought they were going to win it in 7 after one game. In Game 5, though, Nuggets got off to a really bad start in the first quarter offensively. wasn't able to get much help around Jokic, missing free throws. And they were able to battle back the last 2 minutes of the first. And Timberwolves had a pretty good shooting first quarter. Timberwolves led 31-24 at the end of one. Then the Nuggets were able to battle back. Jamal Murray got cooking, and able to bring the Nuggets within one with like 6 minutes left in the second. And I think the Nuggets took the lead in the second quarter, 42-41, and they were able to go in the halftime with the lead at 48-47, a low-scoring affair. Offense was able to get going in the second quarter. Jamal Murray, Jokic off to a really slow start in the night. Offense was able to get going. Bruce Brown had a good second quarter. In the third quarter, it was back and forth the whole way. It was back and forth pretty much the whole second half. Timberwolves were able to retake the lead in the third quarter by 5. Nuggets were able to battle back Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Nuggets, I think they were tied, or they led by 2 at the end of third quarter. As it was tightly contested, back and forth between Anthony Edwards, Jamal Murray. But Jokic was able to get going in the fourth quarter and gets a triple-double watch. And then Timberwolves took the lead again in the fourth quarter with like 6 minutes left. But then Nuggets defense was able to step it up, get Jokic going in the paint. Nuggets led by 5 with 2 minutes left. With 30 seconds left, Anthony Edwards hits a 3 to keep the Timberwolves alive, to cut it to a 2-point game. Jokic makes a free throw, misses a second. Nuggets up 112-109. 2 seconds left. Anthony Edwards step back 3 to send it overtime. Misses. Game over. Nuggets win the series in 5 games to beat the Timberwolves 4-1, 112-109 game 5. And that's how the Nuggets punch their ticket to go to the Western Conference semis, as they will take on the Phoenix Suns. And they were looking to get their revenge from the Suns from 2 years ago when the Suns swept them. So, at the whole series, the player of the series for the Nuggets was, I think, Jamal Murray. You could say Jokic because he had triple-doubles. Jamal Murray really went off scoring. He was a leading scorer. He came up big. It's a big bounce back from his ACL injury to perform like that in the playoffs. He needs to keep performing like that in the playoffs if the Nuggets want to go to the Western Conference Finals or go to the NBA Finals and maybe even win it. That would be great. So Jamal Murray's the player of the series. Anthony Edwards had a great series. He was the main reason why the Timberwolves were in that series, I think. But Nuggets say bye-bye to the Timberwolves and have a matchup against the Suns, and I'll be at that game 2 in Denver. But, yeah, good series win by the Nuggets. Just like I predicted, they win it in 5 games. And going forward, I think the two biggest threats or 3 biggest threats to the Nuggets in the West are the Suns in round 2 and the Warriors and Lakers. Those would be tough matchups. Doesn't mean the Nuggets can't win. And the Clippers even though the Nuggets got by the Timberwolves, who aren't that good, and they didn't have Kyle Anderson and Jaden McDaniels, doesn't the Suns also had to get past the Clippers, and they didn't have Kawhi or Paul George. The Clippers didn't. So Nuggets got the potential to beat the Suns, I think, and it's going to be a tough series with number 1, but still doing really good at home. We're 3-0 at the playoffs. 3-0 at home in the playoffs so far, so let's keep it going. Way to move on in 5 games. But that's it, everybody. That's the Nuggets Timberwolves breakdown. Good team effort in a lot of those games. We got to keep it up in round 2 against the Suns, and wish me luck flying to Denver. I'm gonna also try to go to an Avalanche and Rockies game while I'm in Denver too. But and then when I get back this summer, I'll be working at a camp in Frankfort, Illinois. As I just finished school, I passed all my classes. Just finished my junior year at college, and now I'll be a senior. But yeah, I'm excited for my trip to Denver, and I'm excited the Nuggets moved on to round 2. But that's it, everybody. I'm Chris Romeo, and that's good Denver. Go Nuggets.